Imagine standing on a world so distant that sunlight takes more than 5 hours just to reach you. By the time that faint light arrives, it is no longer warm, no longer bright, just a dim glow in an endless black sky. A place where temperatures plunge below -230 degrees Celsius, so cold that the air itself can freeze and fall like snow. A world where, if you threw a cup of water into the air, it wouldn't splash. It wouldn't even fall. It would instantly turn into ice, hard, sharp, and frozen mid-motion. And here's something even more unbelievable. One single year on this world lasts 248 Earth years. That means entire civilizations on Earth could rise and fall before just 1 year passes there. Empires would be born, flourish, and disappear, and this distant world would still be slowly completing just one orbit around the Sun. This mysterious frozen frontier is known as Pluto, once called the 9th planet of our solar system, now stripped of that title. But why? What changed? And what secrets might still be hidden beneath its icy surface? Let's journey to the very edge of our solar system and uncover the truth. For centuries, humans have looked up at the night sky, mapping the wandering lights we now call planets. We came to know 8 major worlds orbiting our Sun: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. But for much of the 20th century, there was always one more name at the end of that list: Pluto, a tiny, distant world lurking in the darkness far beyond Neptune. It was officially discovered in 1930 by a young astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh. At just 24 years old, Tombaugh accomplished something extraordinary. Working at the Lowell Observatory, he spent long nights scanning photographs of the sky. Back then, there were no advanced computers, no AI, no digital imaging, just patience, precision, and the mechanical device called a blink comparator. This machine rapidly switched between 2 images of the same part of the sky. Stars stayed fixed, but anything that moved stood out. Day after day, image after image, nothing. Until one moment changed everything. A tiny speck had shifted position. That tiny movement meant it wasn't a distant star. It was something closer, something orbiting our Sun. And just like that, humanity discovered a new world. Naming this mysterious new world wasn't left to scientists alone. Instead, inspiration came from an unexpected place. An 11-year-old girl named Venetia Burney suggested the name Pluto. In Roman mythology, Pluto was the god of the underworld, the ruler of darkness, a perfect match for a world so distant, so cold, and so hidden from the sun's warmth. The name was quickly accepted, and for the next 76 years, Pluto proudly held its place as the 9th planet of our solar system. But that title would not last forever. In 2006, everything changed. Astronomers from around the world gathered at a historic meeting in Prague, organized by the International Astronomical Union. Their goal? To finally answer a question that had never been clearly defined. What exactly is a planet? They created 3 strict rules. To be considered a planet, an object must orbit the Sun, be massive enough to form a nearly round shape, and most importantly, it must clear its orbit. That means it must dominate its path, gravitationally controlling everything nearby. Pluto passed the first 2 tests easily, but it failed the third. Pluto exists in a crowded region known as the Kuiper Belt. This distant zone is filled with countless icy objects, remnants from the early solar system. Pluto isn't dominant there, it's just one of many. Because of this, Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet. The decision shocked the world. People protested, students argued. Even today, many still believe Pluto deserves its planetary status back. Pluto may sound mysterious and powerful, but in reality, it's incredibly small. Its diameter is just about 2,377 kilometers. That's smaller than Earth's moon. Yes, our moon is actually larger than Pluto. To put that into perspective, if you placed Pluto over a map of Pakistan, it would barely stretch from Karachi to Lahore. That's it. Despite its size, Pluto has its own gravity, but it's extremely weak. If you weigh 60 kilograms on Earth, on Pluto, you'd weigh just around 4 kilograms. You could jump several meters high with ease. Every step would feel like slow motion. Every movement, light and effortless. But despite being small and weak, Pluto hides something extraordinary, a massive heart-shaped feature on its surface. In 2015, humanity finally saw Pluto up close for the first time, thanks to NASA's New Horizons spacecraft. After nearly a decade of travel across billions of kilometers, it reached its destination, and what it revealed stunned the world. On Pluto's surface was a Vishal bright region shaped like a heart. Scientists named it Tombaugh Regio in honor of its discoverer. This heart isn't made of rock. It's made of frozen nitrogen, a vast icy plain stretching across the surface. But Pluto isn't just smooth ice. It's rugged, dynamic, alive with geological activity. Towering mountains made of water ice rise up to 3 kilometers high. On Pluto, water behaves like rock. There are glaciers too, slowly flowing across the surface. But these aren't made of water. They're made of nitrogen ice. Even more surprising, scientists found evidence of cryovolcanoes. Volcanoes that don't erupt lava, but instead erupt ice. Pluto doesn't just look unusual, it behaves differently too. Its orbit is stretched and tilted compared to other planets. In fact, there was a time, from 1979 to 1999, when Pluto was actually closer to the Sun than Neptune. But Pluto's uniqueness doesn't stop there. It has 5 moons. The largest is Charon. Charon is so big compared to Pluto that the two form something like a double world system. They orbit each other like partners, rather than one dominating the other. Even more fascinating, they are tidally locked. The same side of Pluto always faces Charon, and the same side of Charon always faces Pluto, forever. Pluto has an atmosphere, but it's incredibly thin, made mostly of nitrogen, with traces of methane and carbon monoxide. But this atmosphere behaves in a way unlike anything on Earth. As Pluto moves closer to the Sun, its frozen surface begins to warm slightly. Gases evaporate, forming a temporary atmosphere. But as it drifts farther away again, that atmosphere freezes and falls back to the surface like frost. It's almost as if Pluto is breathing in and out over decades. And what about its color? Many imagine Pluto as white or gray, but in reality, it has a reddish-brown tint. This comes from complex molecules called tholins, formed when sunlight interacts with methane. Now comes the biggest mystery of all. Could life exist on Pluto? On the surface, it seems impossible. It's too cold, too dry, too lifeless. But beneath the surface, things might be very different. Scientists believe Pluto may hide a subsurface ocean, a hidden layer of liquid water buried beneath thick ice. But how? How could water remain liquid in such extreme cold? The answer lies deep within Pluto itself. Radioactive elements inside its core slowly release heat. Over millions of years, that heat could be enough to keep water from freezing completely. And where there is liquid water, there is always a possibility, however small, of life. On Earth, life exists in the most extreme places imaginable. Deep underground, near volcanic vents, in total darkness. If life can survive there, could something similar exist beneath Pluto's icy shell? We don't know yet, but the possibility is enough to keep scientists searching. The New Horizons mission changed everything we thought we knew. Launched in 2006, it traveled for nearly 10 years. By the time it reached Pluto in 2015, Pluto was no longer officially a planet. But what it revealed proved something important. Pluto is not just a frozen rock. It is a dynamic world, with weather, with mountains, with glaciers, with mysteries we are only beginning to understand. The spacecraft didn't land. It didn't orbit. It simply flew past, capturing as much data as possible in a brief window. And then, it continued its journey into the unknown. One day, humanity may return to Pluto. We may send a spacecraft to orbit it, or even land on its frozen surface, and perhaps drill beneath the ice to explore the hidden ocean below. And maybe, just maybe, we will discover something no one ever expected. Because Pluto is more than just a distant object. It is a reminder that even at the very edge of our solar system, there are still worlds waiting to surprise us, still mysteries waiting to be solved. And the farther we explore, the more we realize how much we still don't know.